What's up, you guys? Steve here with your stimulus check update, and we just had a breaking news press release from President Joe Biden, who confirmed that stimulus checks, they're going to be arriving this month, March 2021. So I put together a calendar for you guys so you can see all the different forms of the stimulus checks, the direct deposit, the paper checks, the debit cards, and when we can expect to see those roll out. So I'm going to be sharing that with you guys along with President Joe Biden's actual speech, because in addition to discussing checks, he also discusses the rollout of vaccinations and the path forward. So we're going to be taking a look at all of this, but before we do, if you could do me a quick favor, it'll just take a second. If you like and appreciate these updates, be sure to smash the like button, leave comments, and share these videos out on social media platforms to anybody that you think might be interested. Also, if this is your first time here and you're not already part of the viewing community, the RAM fam we like to call it, and you'd like to stay up to date on stimulus, unemployment, Congress, the economy, anything having to do with investing or money, go ahead and smash the subscribe button and turn on that notification bell. And be sure to follow me on Instagram as well at SteveRam3, because I do my best to respond to as many questions here on YouTube as I can, but I can't get to them all because there's a lot of them. But Instagram is also a great way to get a hold of me as well. And remember though, that when I do respond here on YouTube, my responses will always have a gray stripe on the name. Now, if you don't see that, please use caution, because right now there's a lot of scammers out there trying to pose as me, trying to steal your information. Remember, I'll never leave random phone numbers in the comment, never try to sell you Bitcoin or give you a phone number to my assistant or ask for your bank account information. So if you see that, please use caution. But you guys, let's go ahead and dive in. Let's take a look at this calendar, and then let's take a look at President Joe Biden's speech today. So as you guys know, the Senate passed the stimulus package today. Now it's expected to go back to the House, where they're going to make modifications and hopefully pass it this Monday. Now, President Joe Biden has until the 14th to sign this into law. Now let's assume that he waits till the 14th. You can see right here on March 14th, if he signs it into law, they're saying that 7 days after that, direct deposits for stimulus checks should start hitting bank accounts. So you can expect to see direct deposits around March 21st. Now they're saying paper checks, they're expecting to roll those out the very next week. So March 28th, you could expect to see paper checks start hitting mailboxes. And also they're saying for the debit cards, they're expecting to roll those out the following week, so around April 4th. Now keep in mind, these aren't these specific dates. It depends on when he signs the package, but this is pretty much going to be the cycle we're going to see every single week, a new form rolling out. So let's assume that he does it early, maybe March 10th, then March 17th, we can expect to see direct deposits. March 24th, paper checks hit mailboxes, and March 31st, those debit cards will start hitting mailboxes as well. So that's the calendar you can expect to see for this third round of $1,400 stimulus checks. But now let's go ahead and dive right in. Let's take a look at what President Joe Biden had to say today regarding the stimulus checks, the vaccinations, and everything unfolding.
You know, when we took office 45 days ago, I promised the American people that help was on the way. Today, I can say we've taken one more giant step forward in delivering on that promise, that help is on the way. I want to start off by thanking the Vice President, but I want to thank all of the senators who worked so hard to reach a compromise, to do the right thing for the American people during this crisis, and voted to pass the American Rescue Plan. It obviously wasn't easy. It wasn't always pretty, but it was so desperately needed, urgently needed. I also need to say a few words about the Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, who I spoke with many times in this and again this morning. I served in the Senate, as you all know, for many years. I've never seen anyone work as skillfully, as ably, as patiently, with determination to deliver such a consequential piece of legislation that was so urgently needed as the American Rescue Plan. Chuck Schumer, Senator Chuck Schumer. When the country needed you most, you led, Chuck, and you delivered. Neither I nor the country will ever forget that. And it's not a moment too soon. I've been talking about the urgency of this need. For over a year, the American people were told they were on their own. We've seen how hard that has been on so many Americans. As of last night, 519,064 lives lost to the virus. That many empty chairs this morning, the breakfast table, gone. More than 400 small businesses closed unnecessarily. Millions of people out of work through no fault of their own. I want to emphasize that. Through no fault of their own. Food bank lines stretching for miles. Did any of you ever think you'd see that in America? In cities all across this country? Families facing the threat of eviction. This nation has suffered too much for much too long. And everything in this package is designed to relieve the suffering and to meet the most urgent needs of the nation and put us in a better position to prevail. Starting with beating this virus and vaccinating the country. The resources of this plan will be used to expand and speed up manufacturing and distribution of vaccines so we can get every single American vaccinated sooner than later. I believe we'll have enough by the middle of May to vaccinate. It's going to take longer to get in their arms, but that's how much vaccine we'll have. Because of all the funding, we'll be able to hire more vaccinators, set up more vaccination sites to get the country in a place to get back to normal. This plan will get checks out the door starting this month to the American people who so desperately need the help. Many of whom are lying in bed at night, staring at the ceiling, wondering, will I lose my job if I haven't already? Will I lose my insurance? Will I lose my home? Over 85% of American households will get direct payments of $1,400 per person. For a typical middle-class family of four, husband and wife working, making $100,000 a year total, with 3 kids, they'll get $5,600. I mean, with 2 kids, we'll get $5,600, and it'll be on the way soon. That means the mortgage can get paid. That means the child can stay in community college. That means maintaining the health insurance you have. It's going to make a big difference in so many lives in this country. Unemployment benefits will be extended for 11 million Americans who've lost their jobs, who last night, again, were lying in bed thinking, my Lord, I'm going to lose my unemployment insurance in a week or so. It was about to expire. Schools are going to have the resources they need to open safely. States and local governments that have lost tens of thousands of essential workers will have the resources they need available to them. To those laid off police officers, firefighters, teachers, and nurses they can rehire. These are essential personnel. Look, the American Rescue Plan lowers health care premiums, food and nutrition assistance. It's hard to believe that 24 million adults and 11 million children, as I speak, in the United States suffer from food insecurity. That means simply they don't have enough food to eat. Did you ever imagine in the United States of America, you'd see lines literally miles long, folks in their automobiles waiting for a box of food to be put in their trunk? I stood in line handing out food. The people coming up never, ever, ever thought they'd be in that position. This helps families who are behind in their rent and their mortgage payments so they aren't thrown out of their homes. Look, the bottom line is this. This plan puts us on a path to beating the virus. This plan gives those families who are struggling the most the help and the breathing room they need to get through this moment. This plan gives small businesses in this country a fighting chance to survive. And one more thing. This plan is historic. Taken all together, this plan is going to make it possible to cut child poverty in half. Let me say it again. It's significant, historic. We'll cut child poverty in half. There's much more to this bill, but for now, let me make one final point. When I was elected, I said we were going to get the government out of the business of battling on Twitter and back in the business of delivering for the American people, of making a difference in their lives, giving everyone a chance, a fighting chance, of showing the American people that their government can work for them. And passing the American Rescue Plan will do that. And you know, it may sound strange, but a lot of senators and congressmen I want to thank, but I really want to thank the American people for making all this possible. You say, well, how did they make it possible? Well, quite frankly, without the overwhelming bipartisan support of the American people, this would not have happened. Your elected officials heard you. Overwhelming public support. Every public opinion poll shows overwhelming support for this plan. And for the last weeks, it's shown that. Every public opinion poll shows that people want this. They believe it's needed, and they believe it's urgent. Now this bill returns to the House of Representatives, which has done a great job from the beginning, where I hope it will find quick passage so it can be sent to my desk to be signed into law. By passing the American Rescue Plan, we'll have heeded the voice of the American people, not ignored their voices. By passing this plan, we would have delivered real, tangible results for the American people and their families. And they'll be able to see and know and feel the change in their own lives. And by passing this plan, we'll have proved that this government, this democracy, can still work. What has to be done? It'll improve people's lives. And one more thing. The vast majority of economists, left, right, and center, from Wall Street to the private economic polling initiatives, the economists, as I said, left, right, and center, say, in addition to the needs the people have, we need this to grow the economy. That if we haven't spent this money and recreated the kind of incentive for people to be able to make a good living, that we'd be in real trouble. This will create millions of new jobs. There's estimated over 6 million new jobs by itself. Increase the gross domestic product by $1 trillion. Put our nation in a position to outcompete the rest of the world, because the rest of the world is moving, particularly China. And to know that as tough as this moment is, there are brighter days ahead. There really are. As I said before, it's never a good bet to bet against America. It's never been a good bet to bet against the American people. We are America. We're going to get there. We're going to remain the leading economy in the world and going to be the most successful economy in the world because of you, the American people. Thank you, and God bless you all. May God protect our troops. Thank you.
Of the last 24 hours, including with Senator Manchin, tell you about the next 4 years?
They're going to be good. I'm going to succeed. We're going to succeed moving forward. Look, the American people strongly support what we're doing. That's the key here. And that's going to continue to seep down through the public, including from our Republican friends. There's a lot of Republicans that came very close. They've got a lot of pressure on them. I still haven't given up on getting their support. Thank you.